I love these portraits, not because I'm anti-fascist, though I am, but because of the artistic process behind them, their intention, beyond their political implications. For those of you who don't know, Vanity Fair just released an article overviewing the first year of the Trump administration, and in this article, there were some extremely compromising interviews with White House Chief of Staff, Susie Wiles. I won't go into those interviews, but go check them out if you're interested. The link to the article is in the description. What I do want to go into is those portraits, more particularly the close-up portraits of Susie Wiles, J.D. Vance, and even more particularly, Caroline Levit. I've been having issues calling her Levit, so I don't know. I know it's pronounced Levit. I might fuck up. Also, of course, it's going to be the close-up portrait video when I have 2 pimples, one on each side of my face. Anyway, I want to understand these portraits, understand why they were taken that way, and understand why it has shocked so many. The answer is not that the photographer has Trump derangement syndrome. It's a bit deeper than that. So to get to the answer, we need to first look at Christopher Anderson, the artist behind these works. Anderson is a portrait photographer, mainly photographing celebrities now, who first became known as a photojournalist. His series published in 2000 on Haitian immigrants sailing to the United States is breathtaking, and the story behind it is absolutely insane. Anderson, with the journalist Michael Finkel, sailed on a 23-foot-long wooden sailboat from Haiti to Florida with 44 Haitians. Off the coast of Florida, the boat started to sink. A couple of days into our journey, the boat began to sink. We were doomed, and we knew it. We started saying goodbye to one another. Strangely, it was quite calm on the boat. There was not much to do except resign oneself to the inevitability of it all. But as the boat sank, David, the Haitian whom I had followed on this journey, said to me, "Chris, you better start making pictures. We only have an hour to live." And so, without much thought, I began making pictures. These pictures were taken while the boat was sinking, while its passengers, including the photographer, believed they were going to die. Soon later, the U.S. Coast Guards rescued the sinking ship and its passengers. When the Vanity Fair team met with J.D. Vance, Anderson also shared being with the 1st Battalion to enter Baghdad as a photographer. Christopher won many prizes as a photojournalist, but his visit at the White House wasn't a trip on a sketchy boat or a military invasion. He was going to take portraits of some of the most powerful people in the world, Trump's leadership team. So to understand these portraits, it can help to look at other close-up portraits Anderson took in his career. On his Instagram page, you can find a couple of these portraits, including some of the singer Rosalia and of Margot Robbie. You can also find some political portraits, but those are more apparent in a book he published in 2014 titled Stump. In it, you find portraits of American politicians, and these portraits are not flattering at all. And they're also very, very tight. Taken over a decade ago, they depicted politicians on both sides of American politics, to the right with the Republicans and the center-right with the Democrats. Al Gore, Hillary Clinton, Bill Clinton, Michelle Obama, Barack Obama aren't shown flatteringly. So that's the context for these White House portraits. We know Christopher Anderson is a photojournalist and an artist who has already made very tight and uncompromising portraits of the political elite. Now, we're better equipped to understand why these pictures of the White House staff were taken. These pictures are from a series of pictures taken at the White House. Take Susie Wiles' portraits. There's the close-up one, but there's also this one, a bit more conventional. The composition is great, though also a bit odd. While you usually want separation between your subject and the background, Wiles is standing right in front of the wall, not allowing any of that separation and flattening the image. The scenery, however, is allowed to expand, depth is added, but only through a doorway. Notice how many frames there are in this composition, and Wiles sits in none of them. There's also the light switch on the subject's right, a distraction the size of her face. J.D. Vance's portrait is also flat, though there's no door to give depth to the image. And again, there is the light switch and the thermostat, adding a casualness, maybe even a mundaneness to the scene. There's also this awkward photo of Marco Rubio staring at a lamp. That one is just funny. Finally, for the more traditional portraits, there's the one of Caroline Levit. There is a bigger separation between herself and the background. She sticks out with her bright red outfit. She's positioned in front of a fireplace between two symmetrical lamps, and there is, of course, the American flag. This portrait is what you'd expect all these portraits to look like. And Caroline Levit is perhaps the member of Trump's team that needs to look the best, the most serious and professional. She is the press secretary, or as Vanity Fair calls her, the mouthpiece. Donald Trump chose to represent him, a blonde 28-year-old with blue eyes. I guess he didn't want to unsettle your average Fox News viewer. That being said, this person's appearance is incredibly important for her job as press secretary, so no wonder that this portrait, selected by Vanity Fair of Caroline Levit, is going viral. Wiles, with her wide-open eyes and absence of lips, and J.D. Vance with his confused stare, aren't portrayed flatteringly. But Levit is particularly eerie. The picture is cropped tighter than any other. It also has a cooler temperature. Her makeup makes her skin look like it has a thin layer of melted plastic on it, and there is, perhaps most importantly, lip filler injection marks. Of all these pictures, this one especially peels off the veneer of what the White House wants to show, revealing humans with all their imperfections. And that's exactly what Christopher Anderson is trying to do with these portraits and the ones he published in Stump. I like the idea of penetrating the theater of politics, he told The Independent. Above all else, I try to cut through the image that politics want to project and get at something that is more truthful. He has repeated that his intentions weren't to make his subjects look bad, but to depict them truthfully, and if that makes them look bad, well, perhaps it's because they look bad. When the Washington Post asked about the lip injection marks specifically, he answered, "I didn't put the injection sites on her. People seem to be shocked that I didn't use Photoshop to retouch out blemishes and her injection marks. I find it shocking that someone would expect me to retouch out those things." Which brings us to the final point. Anderson was on a photojournalistic assignment. He's not there to make the subjects look good and empower them. He's not a propagandist. As he did in Haiti or in Baghdad, he took pictures to share his experience and what he saw. Speaking of his experience, there are a couple of funny anecdotes about the photoshoot that I can't ignore in this video. First, J.D. Vance said, "I'll give you $100 for every person you make look really shitty next to me, and $1,000 if it's Marco." And since Anderson was shooting on film, which made it so nobody could see the photos until he developed them, the creative director, Jennifer Pastore, said that it had more soul, to which Vance answered, "That's good, because I think I read in Vanity Fair that I have no soul." There was also a joke during the group photoshoot that everyone was going to get fired, but Vance said he wasn't because he has 100% job security. Miller made a comment to Anderson that photographers have a lot of power when it came to select photos of a person. Anderson reminded him that Miller does as well. Now, the photographer said he simply depicted reality, that he didn't intend to make his subjects look bad, that if people are offended by these pictures, then they're offended by reality. And though I think Trump and his team are fascists, I also think Anderson is being disingenuous here. Let me give you an example. This screen grab of me is depicting reality, but if you selected it and put it on the cover of Vanity Fair, I might be bothered by that because although it is reality, the curation of the photograph will undeniably be biased with the intention of making me look a certain way. Most of the time, you want your subjects to look good. Here, making the subject look good wasn't a priority, but to say that this choice wasn't one tinted with bias is dishonest. One final comparison. Look at these pictures of Obama. Look at this photograph. They're just as close and tight as the other ones, but they're flattering. Why? Perhaps the selection of the picture has been made with the attractiveness of the sitter in mind. There's also the lighting, which can make a sitter flattering or make them look like they're taking a mugshot. Or maybe Obama's really handsome, I don't know. However biased these portraits are, I love them. I'm not against biases. My channel is biased as fuck. These portraits symbolically take off the veil of insincerity off the political theater, but that's not why they're being shared and adored. They're loved because they're disrespectful. These pictures are an act of resistance, of defiance to an incredibly unpopular administration. And they're disrespectful in the most effective way on the internet. They're funny. I always loved zoomed in pictures. My Letterboxd profile picture has always been a zoomed in photo of me. I find them incredibly funny, and also subscribe to my Letterboxd or follow me. It's not subscription, but yeah, follow me. These photos are very memeable, shareable, and there aren't many things in the world that make me happier than collectively laughing at fascists. So thank you, Christopher Anderson and Vanity Fair, for making that happen. And thank you for watching the video completely. I just wanted to add 2 comments that I forgot to write in my script, mostly because I wrote this really quickly as a reaction to the news and to the articles and the publication of the photos. But first, even though we're laughing at fascists, I also feel like we're laughing at the appearance of a woman, which is perpetuating different ways of regulating people in the public space for their gender, which is questionable. I feel like in this case, we feel excused for doing it because the woman is a fascist, but it might not be. I'd like to hear what your thoughts are in the comments, obviously. There's another thing about the comparison between the conventional portraits of the subjects and their close-up portraits. I forgot to mention the importance of getting to the truth in those conventional portraits, in the fact that they're so casual in a way, mostly because of the light switches. I know I might be focusing too much on those light switches and those thermostat wheels, but to me they're pretty important, because when I went to photography school, people would say, oh, those are so distracting, you don't want them in your composition. Maybe like a photographer normally would have photoshopped them out, which brings us back to the fact that this is photojournalism, so this is very, I wouldn't say casual, but close to reality. Maybe there's the intention of not making the photos posed in a way that they're a bit casual, but they're also very, very posed, like exaggeratedly so, in the sense that the subjects almost look uncomfortable. Anyway, I also forgot another thing. The fact that these pictures are so unflattering does maybe undermine the credibility of the article, which is being already criticized for being a hit piece. So the choice of selecting these specific pictures, which are extremely unflattering, makes it so that you're becoming even more vulnerable to the criticism that this is a hit piece against the White House. So it's a bold move, a bold choice of pictures, considering that context. But at the same time, it's getting attention, it's getting clicks, it's getting views. So good on Vanity Fair. But yeah, all right. Thank you for watching. Let's go back to me rambling in the conclusion. And thank you for watching the video completely. In the last video, for those who watched it completely, we all shouted out and said hello to Russell, which again was hilarious. I love it. Hello, Russell. But this week, it's not Russell. I went to the museum and I met Ignacio and Elliot, which was amazing. And then I found out that Elliot is someone who made a song that I heard on TikTok a lot. So that's really funny. Go check out Elliot. I hope he comments in the down below so we can say hi to Elliot. But say hi to Ignacio as well. Ignacio's the one who recognized me. Elliot, I'm not even sure if he actually watches my video. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for liking and subscribing if you haven't already. I wasn't supposed to make a video this week, but then these photos came up and I was like, I need to make something about them. I love them. There's an artistic process behind them. There's a history with the artist making these portraits before. There's a controversy surrounding them. They're political. It's like everything that I love happened. I wanted to make it like a big video for next Friday. I guess I'll have to wait. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. Subscribe if you want to check out the other videos. Also, I'm trying the very tight crop. I don't even know if it's actually going to happen. If it doesn't, you're not going to hear this. If it did, you are. And I'm thinking it's really funny that for some people, this is going to be their first impression of me. But at the same time, while I was thinking that, I was thinking, well, my face in that Begonia video is the first impression for some other people. So the cropped is not that bad. If you haven't checked out my video on Begonia, which I'm really proud about, go check it out. Go follow me on Letterboxd. On Instagram, I posted, I drew a painting. I drew a drawing. I painted a drawing. Go check it out. It's 6 parakeets in a wooden drawer. It's from a song by an artist that I went to go see in concert on last Saturday. There you go. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Happy holidays. Hope you're having a wonderful time. Oh, and the patrons. How can I forget my patrons? That's like the whole reason why I'm doing these outros. So I want to thank all my patrons, the ones who are no, they're not there. I'm looking at my little screen. Okay, they're right here. They're scrolling. I want to thank those patrons, and I also want to thank these patrons who are the top tier patrons. There's Roman Brandel, X-Towns, there's Bone Meal, Chrissy Chris. These are the top tier patrons. These are the other top tier patrons. So if you want to become a patron and help out the channel in ways that I cannot be thankful enough because my videos keep getting demonetized. Oh, surprise, making videos on art and politics with spark of nudity, spark of genocide. Yeah, they get demonetized. So patrons help out tremendously for this project. You can support the Patreon. You can support the channel through Patreon with as little as $1 per month. Sorry, as little as $1 per month. You can support the channel, and if you get 10% off if you pledge for like a whole year. So it's like 90 cents per month. So check out Patreon if you want to support. It's greatly appreciated. And that's it. See you in the next video. All right. Goodbye.